You may know Godzilla, but do you know its not so distant cousins? Today I will explain the 5 known Gojira species. Now, before we do this, we need to know what a Gojira is. They all have bare features, some have spiky dorsal plates, and all have features of reptiles, like iguanas. Now, let's get started and explain the Gojira genus. Let's get started with the Titanus Gojira species. We've seen 2 living specimens of the Godzilla species. First, Dagon, also known as 5146 Adam, who is a skeleton in Godzilla 2014, but we see him alive in the graphic novel Godzilla Aftershock. Killed by Muto Prime and implanted its eggs into his body for it to eat him from the inside out. Now, to the last surviving Godzilla, being the modern-day G-Man. Godzilla was a subadult in 2014, while being 252 million years old. But after absorbing more radiation, he matured faster, changing his dorsal plates and increased in size over a span of 5 years. Then he started evolving in 2027 to increase his energy capacity by 20 times and turned magenta in coloration. Leaner, more spikes, and despite being leaner, he is the same weight as his bulkier body because of his new molecular density. Now, there's a theory going around that Godzilla is the only one of his species, the only one with atomic breath, explaining why Dagon didn't use it against the Muto Prime. But I think it could be because of the EMP, weakening Dagon's atomic breath. I also think the axe is proof. The dorsal plates could be used as a defensive weapon in interspecies combat with other Godzillas. And a video will be coming out explaining the battle axe in very great detail. Godzilla has multiple types of different radiation colorations for its dorsal plates and atomic breath, and Dagon being more green than grey, showing that there can be a large range of colours in the Godzilla genus. Titanus Doug. Titanus Doug, also known as the Photodons, appeared small to other kaiju, but triple the length of the largest animal today, the blue whale. The Photodons are an evolutionary offshoot of the Godzilla species, almost like an uncle of the Godzilla species. These are extremely strong for their size, but do signs of ADHD in the graphic novel Monsterverse Declassified. The smaller dorsal plates can glow like its relatives for an intimidation display, but there is no evidence to suggest the capability of atomic breath. And the designs are based on iguanas, so they may be semi-aquatic in nature. Now, this skull is a giant Gojira skull, nicknamed the Mega Gojira specimen. These are giant. Using relatives like Shimo, they would most likely be at least somewhat quadrupedal, and are shockingly about 130 meters tall and 460 meters long, much larger than Godzilla. Titanus Shimo isn't similar to the others, but if we look at the concept art, we can see how similar she is to Godzilla, and was the first Titan, being the mother of all Titans, probably because Methuselah's been sued out of existence from the Monsterverse, and was contained by the Scar King. But after his death, she was free and being Queen of Hollow Earth. This massive skeleton was thought to be just a rock carved by the great apes. But in the novelization of GXK, suggests that these were living titans. This titan would be over 5.5 kilometers long and would be a whopping 770 million tons, 8,000 times heavier than Godzilla. Here is a scale with the Burj Khalifa, Godzilla, Kong, Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah, Shimo, and Gypsy Avenger from Pacific Rim Uprising. These are the 5 known Gojira species, all being a mix between mammal and reptile, like the canines and other bear morphologies. Do you think other Gojira species will appear in GXK Supernova? The Godzilla species is a perfected species with evolutionary offshoots and can adapt to any situation. This evolutionary pathway created one of the most powerful titans ever. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to see a version of this but for the Kong genus. And stay tuned for more paleontology news, or more Monsterverse content if you like this video. And as always, thank you for watching. See you in my next video.